So,
Borderline fabulous.
all right. The March meeting for Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Neighborhood Board number 2 is now in order. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Chair Burkert is traveling, and so you're left with me, Howie Lucas. And we have a pretty full agenda, so let's get going. Let's see, the in-person rules of speaking. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise his or her hand and when recognized by the chair, to address comments to the chair. Speakers are allowed 2 minutes. Those giving reports are asked to keep them under 3 minutes. And presenters under 5 minutes. Comments should be brief and to the point. Please silence all electronic devices. Participants on WebEx, please be sure to mute yourself when you are not speaking to avoid any background noise. When attending the meeting via cell phone, press *6 to mute and unmute. Note, the board may take action on any agenda item as required by the state sunshine law. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted on unless added to the agenda. This meeting is being recorded for future telecast. Comments will be part of the video presentation. All right, we'll start with the city-state monthly reports. And we have a quorum now. Yay. Thank you. Honolulu Fire Department. Do we have? We don't have. All right. Then we'll move on to the Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, good evening. Lieutenant Thompson from District 7. I'll start with the month stats for February. There were 2 motor vehicle thefts, with 3 reported the previous month, 1 burglary, 4 reported in January, 4 thefts, where 6 were reported in January.
Sliding sweet, rains are from Shepard, Scott's.
And 3 unauthorized entry into motor vehicle cases, with 12 reported in January. Total calls for service for the month is 5,746. The safety tip for the month is pedestrian tips. Use marked crosswalks or cross at street corners. Look left, right, and left again for vehicle traffic before stepping out onto the roadway. Continue to look for oncoming vehicles while crossing. Yield to approaching vehicles while crossing, even if you have the right of way. Make eye contact with drivers to ensure that they see you. Obey all traffic signals and use the pedestrian signal button at intersections. Cross the street only when the white walk or walking person's light is on. Do not begin crossing if the red don't walk or upraised hand is flashing or steady. Be especially careful of vehicles that are turning at all intersections. Drivers may be looking out for other vehicles instead of pedestrians. If buses or other large vehicles are blocking your view, wait for them to pass before crossing. Do not walk behind a vehicle that has its reverse lights on. Walk on the sidewalk. If there is no sidewalk, walk on the left side of the roadway so you can see oncoming traffic. And do not allow children to walk near roadways or cross the street unsupervised. Adults should always accompany young children until they are sure that the children can cross the street safely. You can find this as well as additional tips at honolulupolicedepartment.org or honolupd.org. And I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, go ahead.
Hello again, Lieutenant Thompson. This is Tim Stanton.
Hi, sir.
We spoke last month about crosswalks on private property. I did some more. Sorry.
I can't hear you.
On private property in a.
Again, you're out again.
Okay. If you're on private property.
You're very quiet.
How you doing there?
Color.
Don't touch anything. No.
If you're on private,
Just turn it off. If you're on private property.
Go
They're
for it.
good. They're
Go,
good.
go, go, go.
They're good. It's okay?
Yeah. You're fine.
hey, spit out the gum.
It's a button. It's push. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Sorry about that. Regarding the incident last month, I did some research following up from what Lieutenant Thompson kindly gave me some information. On private property, if you're on a sidewalk and you are hit or you have issues, good luck. Because apparently the police cannot and will not issue citations. This happened to me in the wet weather, and it got contentious because the lady drove straight through the sidewalk in front of Home Depot and missed me by about a foot. I did some more research, and for the size of Honolulu, the population, Honolulu has more incidents in sidewalks than any comparable size population in the United States. So be careful out there, please. Thank you.
I concur with you, sir.
Okay, let's, oh, partner. Partner? Go ahead.
Yes, hi, Chair. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, Lieutenant, for attending tonight. I just have a quick question. In my sub-district, in my area, I have a house neighboring to mine that myself and some of our other neighbors believe to be running a game room. The reason why we have this belief is because during a 7-day week, people are only there Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings.
Okay.
And when they're there, they show up in about a mass of 10 to 20 vehicles. And within the last 12 months, I myself have called police multiple times because of loud noise at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. There's been cases where if I don't call or if nobody calls, they run from 8 at night till 8 the next morning. The reason I asked the question, is there anything other than calling and reporting? Is there anything else we can do as residents to, to alleviate or handle this problem?
Our narcotics vice has a complaint line for specifically for things like that.
Okay.
And they can start the investigation from there for game rooms. You can, if you email me the address, I can also forward that to them to follow up.
Okay.
If you're ready to take my email, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, just a second. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, partner. All right. Anything more?
Okay, go ahead, Lieutenant. Sorry.
So it's my first initial M for Mike.
Uh-huh.
My last name THOMPSON.
Okay.
The number 2
Uh-huh.
at honolulu.gov.
Okay,
And you can-
mahalo, Lieutenant.
Okay, no problem, sir.
Any more questions online? I can't see everybody's hand up at the same time. Okay. Alrighty then. Do we have someone from the Board of Water Supply?
Yes, I'm here.
Great.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Sugimoto from the Honolulu Board of Water Supply. Before I give this month's report, I'd like to go over a question that was asked at last month's meeting. It was pertaining to the, if we have an update on the PFAS that was detected in the Aia Halaba wells, and if will BWS recommend closure of any of the wells that detected PFAS. So we have detected PFAS in Halava Shaft and Halava wells. While the detections have been persistent, the levels are below 4 ppt. Halava Shaft has been off since November 2021, and Halava wells have been off since early December 2021. The closure of both water sources was in response to the fuel release at the Red Hill Bulk Fuel Facility in November 2021. At this time, the BWS has no plans to bring either back online. We continue to study our options as well as moving forward with the drilling of new water source wells outside of what we believe is the possible contamination area. For other wells where PFAS has been detected, the levels were very low, and in follow-up testing, the PFAS were not substantially detected. Please go to our protectoahuwater.org website for more information and test results. And let me share my screen for the report. Cool. So for this month's report, there was no main breaks to report. The general water announcements is BWS is hiring. So if you're thirsty for a stable career, the BWS is hiring. We have open positions in engineering, IT, customer care, and administrative roles. Enjoy great benefits, job security, and the opportunity to grow and make a difference. It's time to turn the valve on a new career that matters. You can apply today at www.boardofwatersupply.com/jobs or call 808-748-5160. That's the end of my report. Does anyone have any questions or comments for BWS?
Nothing. Anybody online? Thank you so much, Mr. Sugimoto.
All right. Hello, everyone.
All right, so we'll move on to board business. The first thing is vacancies. We still have vacancies in sub-districts 1 and 2. Is there anyone present who is interested in filling them? No? Okay, we will move on to the next item. Approval of regular minutes for February 5th. All right, does anyone have any corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. The next item is the Sunshine Law Amendment regarding board discussions. So last month, at our last meeting, we had a vote, and it was actually adopted. We didn't know that at the time because there was a little miscalculation, but we did actually pass it. So we are in support of the resolution that was passed by the commission, the Neighborhood Commission. Hello, please sign in and. Oh, okay. All right, so the next item is Monowea Street garbage pickup. It is an agenda item, and we have been provided packets, those of us who are in the room, and Zoidel will upload the contents of these packets to our Google Drive. So does anyone have something to say at this time? Please come up to the mic and give us your name. Yeah. Just speak right into it.
Okay, here we go. Aloha, Vice Chair Lucas and board members. My name is May Leah Lane Komahele. I'm a longtime resident on Monowea Street. It is my understanding that Member Hom is seeking further clarification regarding the installation of no parking signage along Monowea Street based on testimony provided by Joshua and Dylan Greig at the February meeting. Under the current city and county ordinances, it is illegal to park in a cul-de-sac, which we have at the upper end of Monowea Street. Violators can be cited, fined, and towed. For more than 2 years until the present, there have been multiple issues with the trash collection on Monowea Street because the trash truck cannot get up the street above the intersection of Lave Lave and Monowea due to parked vehicles on both sides of the street and formerly in the cul-de-sac. This created a significant health and safety issue in our neighborhood and does not serve the good of the community to maintain a safe environment and address health and safety issues when trash is piled into cans, not picked up timely, rotting and smelling. To answer Member Han's question about signage installation on Monowea Street, the illegal parking in the cul-de-sac and along both sides of Monowea Street, i.e. the Grigg family 6 vehicles, block the trash truck and timely trash collection and is what prompted the installation of the no parking signage. Following up on numerous complaints over several years about the lack of trash collection and confrontations with the trash truck driver by the 2 Grigg sons, documentation provided regarding parking and trash collection in your packets. There were coordinated efforts between the City and County Environmental Services Department and the Refuse Division in December 2023 to install signage in the cul-de-sac on the dead-end road portion of Monowea Street to provide safe access for the trucks to turn around and service the upper portion of Monowea Street above the dead end. Additionally, in February 2024, Environmental Services installed no parking signage along the length of Monowea Street from the cul-de-sac down to East Pine Drive on the Mauka side with appropriate specific signage added indicating that parking was permissible after the trash was picked up on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I've provided a packet of briefing materials which share additional information and background, including relevant and timely photos about the park as the root cause of the signage installation. Based on the final minutes posted of the February 2025 meeting, I would speculate that Board Member Ham and others were deliberately misinformed and not made aware of the full range of issues regarding parking violations that triggered the signage installation. Please also note that the residents of Monowea Street
Continue.
are comfortable with the restricted parking signage and appreciate the efforts by the city and county to address the situation and facilitate safe trash collection. I would encourage Member Ham and others to seek further clarification from the Environmental Services Department and the Refuse Division, speak with residents of Monowea Street, and better understand the root cause, illegal parking, and subsequent action, signage installation, which has now mitigated the issue of missed trash collection on Monowea Street. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you so much for coming and putting the materials together and explaining. It's, as so often, there's more to the story,
Yes.
but so often we don't get the rest of the story. So this is really very helpful.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you.
taking the time. Okay, does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share on this particular topic? Okay. Next, something that was brought up last month was illegal fireworks. And I'm really operating from Chair Burkert's list. So I don't know that there was a specific, we were going to see if there were members who would be willing to take that on as a issue and form some kind of a resolution, perhaps. I know other neighborhood boards have done that, and certainly our political leaders are looking for support in the communities to move the issue. So if there's anybody willing to do that, please let Chair Burkert know. And we'll start a group and get to work on that. Alternatively, if anybody just wants to write a resolution, they can submit it and we can vote on it. Okay, next we have public input for items not on the agenda. 2 minutes. Concerns may be discussed, but no board action may be taken until a subsequent meeting when it has been on the posted agenda. Does anybody have an issue that they would like to speak out on? Yes, please. Please go to the microphone, state your name, and lower the microphone so it's at the level of your mouth. Great.
My name is Nora Mejide Gentry, and I live in Wailupi Circle for the past 21 years. I've been in Hawaii 52, but in different neighborhoods. And the reason why I came today is because I had an incident with a gentleman that was, and I couldn't say because I'm not sure, into drugs, or they didn't have no place to live and very angry and possessed, that on the 25th stole things from another neighbor in Wailupi Circle and came to my house and wreaked havoc with his mouth and called my Ring doorbell and kind of threatened my life. I don't know this person from anything. Then I've been dealing for the past 3 days with the police department. They were very nice, very helpful. But the policeman, they came over to help me with the incident. Actually, when he wrote the report, it was, in my opinion, not properly addressed. He just only said nuisance. And with the nuisance, nobody will know anything. They put it somewhere and it goes under the pillow and doesn't help anybody. My whole point is not wreak havoc with the whole thing, but to tell the neighbors, you have to watch out for this person that's totally out of control. And the next day, the neighbor, the skateboards were stolen. He actually filed a police report and this person was arrested, but then they left it loose again and he was back into Wailupi Circle. Then this is my first time, and thank you for everybody paying attention. I don't know how to do about this. If you notice this and you tell the rest of the neighborhood and advise, because I think today we have a lot of these people with mental problems and drugs and whatever else. And we all have children and grandchildren. You can finish up.
Just wrap it up because everybody gets 2
I
minutes.
have film, video from my camera and all that to see the face, but I was not ready today. But I have it on my phone. I can, mirror it to this camera over here or something. Mhm.
Okay, so Ms. Genry, you can email those photos to Zoidel. He'll give you his card. He's our neighborhood board officer,
Mhm.
and he'll follow up with you. I do want to say this is absolutely wonderful to have somebody from Wailupi Peninsula, and there has been an open seat on the neighborhood board for your district for many, many years. So please consider joining us.
I will drive you crazy with my Spanish English, but okay, I can try to do something. And one more thing, there is a thing that is not our problem per se, but it's our problem. It's electrical cable in Wailupi Circle. I call the Hawaii Electric and explain the problem because
Speak into the microphone, please. Thank you.
the cable is at my height like this. Then if you're walking at night, you will get
Yes.
head and maybe hurt your head. Anyway, they know it and they have not done absolutely nothing, almost a year now. But even if we cannot fix it, to advise people that will be walking in Wailupi Circle, it's a wonderful place to walk, to pay attention for the cable because you want to get hurt.
We do have someone from the mayor's office here who could probably, or city council, who can follow up on that, right? Yeah, from Councilmember Waters' office. So he'll get the information he needs to from you and follow up with that. Also, I'd like to say that sometimes, I don't know if what the situation is for Wailupi Circle, but if you can get some of your neighbors together, you can form a neighborhood watch group. And the Honolulu Police Department has an officer who will come out and do a training and teach you all how to do it. And then you can put the sign, you'll have the signs up in your neighborhood. And it's proven effective way of handling the kind of incident that you came to talk about tonight.
We
So-
did have one of those meetings a few years ago in the house of one of the neighbors, and we put all kinds of signs because, you know, there's children on the bicycles and walking, and sometimes the people go too fast with the cars and it's very dangerous. But, you know, things like this is still happening because there's a lot of homeless in the park, Guadalupe Park. Then there was a tent till last week over there, and they hide there at night, and you just don't know what the intentions of these people are. Then if they were good human beings, but if they're into drugs, they're not in control of their thoughts or what they're going to do, then it's very difficult.
We do have a crisis line, especially for people who are suffering from mental illness now. It's 988. If you are witnessing someone in the midst of a crisis like that, I encourage you to reach out. It's very important that we feel safe in our homes. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That's what the officer was telling me. If he doesn't steal anything from your house, because he was walking up with a painting and then he decided to put the painting back. And anyway, he says, if he doesn't steal it, we can arrest him. But he was trespassing on my home,
Trespassing, yes.
but he never wrote it on the report. And we have to also teach the policemen that come over to be a little more detailed on what they're going to do with the reports. And for us to go, like I went all the way to the police station to get the report. That's how I find out there was a nuisance, which it was a nuisance to find out a thing that was not good enough for the problem. This is a serious problem.
Thank you very much for coming out this evening.
Can I?
Oh, 988. That's it, like 911. This is 988.
Can I comment?
Should I get the information from the gentleman now
Yes.
or later?
Wait, hang on. First of all, I worked for the police department for 34 years. Okay, you're most welcome. What's really important, okay, number one is this, if you don't feel that the police officer did his or her job properly, I encourage you to call 911 and ask for the supervisor. Because as a supervisor, sometimes I don't know what my guys are doing out there. And what's really important, even more so, is that if you feel like you didn't get the service you deserve, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And you're not going to want to call the police ever again. Okay, we have things called community policing and all of that to enhance and to promote relationships with our communities. Now, it's also very important that if you felt threatened or scared by the presence of this person, that you make sure you tell the police officer that, because that would elevate the type of report that is made. What's important is how you articulate your concern.
I was so flustered that I couldn't remember the password of my alarm on the door. Then I opened the door, the alarm was going on. Then they sent another 3 policemen, the alarm company. It was amazing, but he did not write in the report. At the end of the whole story, he says to me, why don't you get a dog? And I'm going,
Then I would encourage you, okay, to call the police back, talk to the supervisor and tell them exactly what happened. Okay, because as a supervisor, I would want to know what's happening and how my people are treating or mistreating the people in my community. And just do that, 911. I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much. Are there any more concerns not on the, okay,
Yeah,
go,
okay,
oh,
yeah.
wait. Member Stanton, can you wait a minute? There's another member from the public. We'll have him. And you're next.
Oh,
Oh, well. Hello.
Hi,
Good evening.
my name is Peter Kay. I'm a resident of Neil Valley for almost 30 years now, and first of all, I want to thank you all for your service. I've been a board member many moons ago, so I know it's a thankless job. So I appreciate what you folks do and how you help our community. Very quickly, I just want to I was asked to come, no, suggested that I come here at Janine Johnson's suggestion. Just wanted to make I suppose, an announcement. I'm thinking through to do something for Neo Valley. The idea would be the vision here would be to create an ohana really of those who love Neo Valley enough to take the time to malama the aina. So really simple, loose network of folks that take individual action to keep the community, clean, safe, happy, and healthy. Really straightforward. Rough ideas would be to, kind of organize a community of stewards. No major quarterly, we could do a quarterly beach cleanup, but that's too much work and no one shows up, right? Right? Right. But it's those little things, right? Those little things that we do like every day, right? I go to the beach often, pick up a little piece of trash. HPD, awesome job they're doing with the vagrants. There's people who are camping on the beach illegally. I call HPD all the time. The next day they're gone, so it's big credit to HPD. But just a simple thing. So I thought, well, if I'm doing it, there's probably other people who are doing it too. Why don't we kind of get a little bit organized? So it could be even something as simple as like, on next door or whatever. So I just wanted to share this idea. You folks are Akama, you've been around for a long time, want to get your feedback. And I want to thank Janine, who inspired me to come out here and share this. That's pretty much it.
What a great idea. Is there some way people can contact you? Do you have a number? That
Yeah, sure. I'll give an email address, which would be easy.
Go ahead.
So it's a PK, as in Peter K, PK mailbox at gmail.com. Just send an email to that. I'll pick it up and go from there, and we'll see how it goes. Kind of, again, informal, just to get to know each other, take care of our neighborhood. We take care of the beach. We take care of the stream. We call out the vagrancy. We pick up a little bit of trash, watch out for the dogs, stuff like that. Really simple.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Stanton.
I'd like to follow up on this young lady over here. I don't want to belabor the point. We have a school and a supper club in Manoa, and I was the fellow that was attacked, and I was stabbed 12 times through this. And to follow up from what you were saying, nothing gets done unless you become insistent with the policeman to file a report. To me, that's absolutely critical. So where our school is in Manoa, we had 21 incidents last year, and a good majority, 60, 70%, involves vagrants, homeless people. There's reasons for that, but the security is not very good, etc., etc. But what I think you're asking is, how can you be proactive to try and stop this from happening? Unfortunately, if we happen to do this in Manoa, it's going to move somewhere else. And that's just the nature of the beast. But this should not be happening. And to me, it happened in our school in the morning, in broad daylight. So I'm quite hot on this topic. But to be honest, it's like playing a game of chicken. You've got to get the police there as quick as you can, talk to them and say you want to file a report. And also mention that you've discussed this with your neighborhood board, upon which are qualified people, and you've taken advice about this. Because sometimes, no offense, but the police are very, very busy. They're overwhelmed. And if they see you're not in trouble, they see no real incident or somebody's hurt, they'll sort of take the least line of resistance and move along. And you're left wondering, what was it all about? So I really plead with you to talk to the policeman and say, look, this has happened and I've been instructed, I want to file a report. Once you file a report, then there's a written copy in the record. And if it happens again, you can say, well, I had this particular, it happened last week. And there's a report. That puts them on notice, particularly if you ask for a supervisor, he can check on that and you build up a record.
Thank you. Thank you. Janine, Member Johnson.
Hi, I just wanted to state that, Peter Kay used to be the chair of the neighborhood board at a time when we desperately needed him. So he's very aware of all of the problems that our neighbors have come forth with. But I wanted to also state that he led our project to get our playground built. So without him, we wouldn't have been able to have a playground. So and he's fun. So if anybody wants to do community stuff, it'll be awesome. So I would suggest anybody that wants to do anything about making Neo Valley better to contact Peter. Thank you.
Yay. All right, moving on to the officials' reports. 3 minutes per speaker. Reports should relate to issues of interest to residents of the Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani area. First, do we have a representative from Congressman Ed Case? Nope. All right. Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative? Oh, the memo, right. That's right. So we were, I'll just read the highlights here from the mayor's newsletter, which is available on the table there. This month's highlights are the city's Wahipana Art Initiative makes its debut, celebrating Oahu's cultural and historical sites. Kumu-Ola-Ho, a new transitional housing shelter for homeless individuals, opens at Iwilei Center. Mayor Blangiardi introduces Roy Miyahara, the city's new Director of Homeless Solutions. An important update for Oahu residents on FEMA's updated flood insurance rate maps, FIRM. Honolulu gets designated as a bicycle-friendly community and what we are doing to improve. So all of that is in the March edition of the mayor's newsletter and can be found online at www.honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. Okay, Governor Josh Green's representative.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hello, yes.
Hello, yes.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, I'm just sorry, I'm having issues with my WebEx at the moment. Just a moment. Okay. Good evening, Dave Day, Special Assistant to the Attorney General, Governor Josh Green's representative here today, also a resident of Kuli'ou'ou. Reporting back from last week, I'm not sure if resident Mulkern is there, but there was a question that he raised regarding who takes care of the median on Kalani'anaole Highway. The answer is that it is Department of Transportation. They have a special team that does that. They may or may not water the palms that he was speaking about. And if there is some sort of damage to the palm trees, there are some people sometimes outside of DOT who are hired to come in and do this. Besides this, I'd just like to add that we're right about crossover right now. So half of the bills are moving forward. And one of the topics from last week was fireworks. That bill continues to move forward. This is HB 1483, which is now in the Senate. And with that said, otherwise, I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Excuse me.
Members, are there any questions? Member Sten.
Hi, what is the situation regarding these big assorted packs of fireworks available in all the big superstores, Costco, et cetera, Sam's Club at certain times of the year? Is that a way to keep a curve on the influx of fireworks into our communities? Because I do know that various kids, for want of a better term, teenagers or whatever, they split those up and like to make big bombs out of them. And that's where I think some of this is coming from. It's not necessarily that the big, huge fireworks are being imported into the state, rather the huge amount of packaged fireworks which are commonly available are getting disassembled and reassembled. Thank you.
Thank
so
you. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So with respect to any like those specific acts about taking perhaps commercial fireworks, combining them, that would be illegal under the law that is being passed now. It's 1483. Obviously, the other issue that comes up relates to aerial fireworks. That's something that HB 1483 is intended to address. With respect to the specific combining of explosives into a different device, obviously that's not permitted, and that's an enforcement issue, and that's why things like the fireworks task force should be supported, so that those types of things can be investigated in advance to protect the public.
Okay, Janine, and then Mecca. Go ahead, Janine.
I just wanted to tell you again, if you could please thank the AG for her efforts on behalf of the state, and especially people who are vulnerable, whether it's nonprofits, it's transgendered people, LGBTQ, having our AG speak out and join the other governors, AGs that fight for those people is very heartening, and I just would like you to let her know that we're very thankful for her.
I will do that. Attorney General Lopez is very grateful for those types of statements. We have been receiving letters from almost around the country, handwritten letters, and we're keeping them as encouragement. So thank you very much.
Thanks. I have kind of a follow-up to that with SB 1150 being deferred. Just encouraging Governor Green to go ahead and support an executive order or release an executive order kind of safeguarding affirmative care, gender affirming care.
Understood. And I will convey that message. I would add, just in addition to that, so I certainly I'm aware of this issue, and certainly SB 1150. I would want to note also some of the positive things that the state has been doing in this sphere. The Department of the Attorney General has joined several actions relating to transgender care, including transgender in the military, supporting or opposing restrictions on transgender care. My understanding is that there was an injunction issued relating in a Washington case earlier or late last week relating to transgender care. But with all of that being said, this is an issue that the governor supports, and we are looking at additional pathways, and I will pass along your message.
Can I make an addendum to my comment?
Sure.
Hi, I think the point I was trying to make, which I never got round to, if these large packets of fireworks were not permitted in the state, rather they were broken up and only so many could be bought at a time, then I think you're going to take away an area where they could pound them together, split them up and pound them together. In other words, it's limited. On one hand, you can still cherish the idea of having fireworks, but not quite as many or as powerful. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other messages for the governor? All right, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Dave. Next up, we have City Council Chair Tommy Waters, District 4's Representative Adam Dew.
Thank you, Vice Chair and members of the board. Adam Dew from Councilmember Tommy Waters' office. I would like to introduce Kevin Imanaka. He's Chair Waters' new senior advisor. He has a very impressive resume, but most recently he has worked as the City Council's head of communications. But now he will be leading Chair Waters' district office. You can contact him directly. His information is on top of our newsletter. Okay, so I'll try my best to keep this to 3 minutes, but there's a lot of community issues that I wanted to quickly get out there. For your houseless concern, another resource besides talking with police and that hotline number that Vice Chair shared, I'd also encourage contacting CORE. They use refurbished city ambulances, and they're a little bit better trained for situations like yours. Of course, if it is violent, please call 911. But within this core group, an EMT will show up as well as a mental health provider, and they can sometimes get them better connected to services to get them off of the street or into the hospital, and they're trained to communicate effectively with them. So that's another resource. Yeah, that's 768-2673. And then on the Manauea Street garbage pickup, since the mayor's representative hasn't been able to attend, I've tried to help with this situation as well. I have been in contact with ENV's Honolulu Refuse Yard, and their head administrator did go out there themselves and investigated and just concurred what you had expressed. So I can connect you with him as well if you would like to speak to them directly as well. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, great. Oh, awesome. And then for Member Stanton and everyone else who had their fireworks concerns, I just wanted to point out tomorrow during our Public Safety Committee hearing, we will be hearing Bill 7, I believe for second reading, and this would amend the fire code to increase penalties for possession and use and explosions for aerial devices. With that, I could go on more, but there's actually one pretty important thing that I did want to point out. Vice Chair did briefly mention it in the mayor's report, but FEMA did release a revision of Oahu's flood insurance map. Please check it out. A lot of homeowners will, for the first time, be in the high-risk flood zone. There is a 90-day appeal period that starts on March 13th that will run through June 10th. For more information on how to appeal this designation, you can go to resilientoahu.org. You can also check out the map there as well. There's more information on that in our newsletter as well in the centerfold here. That I'm happy to try to answer any questions or bring it back to Chair Waters.
Excuse me. We have a protocol here. So if you raise your hand and we everybody takes turns. So that's just kind of how it works. But nobody else had raised. Oh, sorry.
Yes, I'd requested some information about the stream, the Wailupi stream. I know we're going to discuss it later, but do you have any updates at all through our last conversation?
Yeah, I did speak with DFM. As you know that, as you might know that currently they're up to the Hein Drive Bridge. I did check it out on my way before here. It did look like they did reach it up to the Malka side. Didn't look like they touched anything below the
Well, when I
Makai.
was there, they had a pickup truck with 3 workers and the Hein Bridge, but going up, and they only went up maybe 30 feet, but they have not touched the lower part of the stream at all. I know they did clear the way for the heavy equipment to get in on Hein Place, but thus far, there's been no action lower, as I can see. And one pickup truck with 3 workers, it's hard to keep a straight face, you know.
No, I understand. And unfortunately, I tried to get a timeline for when the second half will be completed. DFM couldn't provide that to me. DFM's budget briefing is next week. Chair Waters definitely going to press them on this. Guadalupe Stream, as you know, going back from 2018 and before, it's a very serious topic for Tommy to try to address. We also do have the Army Corps of Engineers study, as you know, the $3 million study that the city council has paid for half. Us taxpayers have paid for half. The Army Corps of Engineers will pay for the other half. Chair does want to emphasize that he does appreciate that Guadalupe Stream is one of the city's only uncemented, and he'd like to preserve that as much as possible. He really pushed the Army Corps to work with the stakeholders, the neighborhood board, the residences, to really hear their mana'o of what they would like to see for these improvements.
If I may, right now we're in the wet season. The trees in the stream are 20 feet in the air and growing. During the summer, when it stops raining, it's going to be a fire hazard that could set this entire valley up, not just the ones on the houses on the stream. I mean, the entire valley could go up if the winds and everything. So I've asked the fire department about it, and they don't want to discuss it. And something's got to be done soon, in my opinion.
Chair Waters completely agrees. Whatever DFM needs funding wise when it comes to stream maintenance, he will more than happy to put that into the budget. When it comes to executing that, we'll work with Zoidel and the mayor's representative and DFM to actually get that done.
Well, I'd like to offer, come to my house, take a look at the stream. I don't know if he's seen it or not, but it's unbelievable. And it used to be such a beautiful stream with fish, and I mean, it was lovely, but it's a sewer right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Kevin and Chair Waters were just out there a few weeks ago checking it out themselves. They said right before this meeting, I looked at it. And, yeah, you can't even see through it. It's terrible.
I'd like to extend an invitation to DFM to come to the board meeting, and so we can ask them the questions about what are the difficulties, so we can get a better understanding of what's going on. I mean, I really appreciate, for as long, I have been a very short time on the board, but ever since I've been here, that stream has come up over and over and over again. And I really appreciate you guys trying to coordinate the communication and all of that, but I'm the type of guy that says, you know what, bring them here so they can hear our concerns and we can hear what the problems are, and maybe we can facilitate in helping them to get this problem solved.
Totally agree. I'll work with Zoidel and the mayor's rep to get DFM over here.
Thank you.
Who is the one person following up on that? Who is the one person who's responsible for this? Or, okay, let's say, which is the department and who in the department has a responsibility? Because that's who we need. That's who we need here. So we can look them in the eyes and say, hey, what about it?
Yep. So it'd be the Department of Facility Maintenance. Kevin, myself, Chair Waters, we went out to their headquarters last month, I believe, to their main yard to really poke the bear. But as you can imagine, there's over 100 streams around the island. They're trying to play catch up. Again, Chair Waters will do whatever he can budget wise, that's would be our role as the city council to support DFM as much as possible. Chair Waters also did pass a resolution requiring DFM to put their schedule, DFM schedule, where they are right now. Unfortunately, yeah, it's on their website, on DFM's website. At least there's some transparency where they are and what they're doing, but does it actually get it moving any faster? I don't know about that. But I will work with Zoidel and the mayor's rep, Dita Holyfield, to get DFM out here to speak with you guys directly.
Maybe a letter to the editor.
And please do. And Tommy, I assure you, if you tune into the budget hearings next week, Tommy will be pressing DFM as hard as he can. This would his #1 issue for that department.
If I may, I think they're just going to study this thing to death. They've been studying it for 20 years, in my opinion, and now they're $3 million to study it again. I mean, use that money to start tearing up that cesspool.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Okay, would you please stand and speak into the microphone?
My name is Wei-Sun Chow, past president of Ainhana Community Association. I was a president of the association between 2007 and 2013. I'm familiar with the stream. There have been requests for the city to maintain the stream dating back at least 5 decades. 5 decades. When I was president, we regularly asked that the city and county regularly maintain the stream, because once they changed the stream course, they became fully responsible for the needs of the stream. And as you can recall, in April of 2018, when the stream flooded, there were about a dozen homeowners in Ainahina that sued the city, and tens of millions of dollars are paid out. This library was out of commission, if I'm not mistaken, for about a year. I mean, you guys are on the board, so you know what I'm talking about. And this library got wiped out along with the shopping center. So this has been an ongoing problem for which excuses have been, it's you know, Board Member Kilcoyne and Board Member Fuji and this gentleman here are correct. This is a long-standing problem that is decades in the making. And at a certain point, you wear our patience very thin. So please, take it seriously. You're going to get hit with another lawsuit, I guarantee you. When you look at the forest and the stream, you cannot even see the ocean from Hind Drive. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chow.
I just want to
There's
say,
Ms. Oda, would you like to
we
step up to the microphone?
100% agree with you. Chair Waters 100% agrees with you. He's fighting passionately for you guys. He got the funding for this study, so it's done correctly. He doesn't want it just to be paved over.
We not maintain. We need the maintenance schedule on a regular basis, every year, every other year. Just keep it simple. Clean up stream.
Yes.
Okay, we got that message. Okay, let's, thank you, Ms. Oda. Thank you.
Jeannie Ota, Ainahina Community Association. I'm the current president. You mentioned the study, and I just want you to know we have been in contact. I have been in contact with the Army Corps. What I'm concerned about presently is the discord that's going on with the federal agencies. And if you find out anything that could hamper our work on that, I would appreciate you just giving us a heads up, because we have initially started communication with them and kind of insisted that we be involved, which has never happened before in the last 40 or so years. So we told them it would be unacceptable to have alternatives planned and then presented. We wanted them to hear from us before. So it's really important that I think we get this part done properly so the planning of the study can go the way that we think it should. So it's useful. So it's just not another shelf study. So if
Maybe,
you could let us know.
maybe it's an idea. You're not going to like this at all. But we invite Elon Musk over here. And these gentlemen in that department write a letter justifying what they're doing.
Okay. All right. Adam, do you have any wrap-up statement?
We will work with Zoidale and the mayor's rep on getting DFM to speak with you guys directly to get some answers. Tune in next week and you can hear Tommy ask the tough questions to the ENV director. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
See ya.
Next up we have the Office of Senator Stanley Chang. I believe I saw his representative online. Yeah, there she is.
Yahi, everyone. It's good to be back with you. Can you hear me okay?
Not really. It's a little spotty. Is there something we can do to clear up that audio?
It looks like I've got full signal on this end. Is it still spotty for you?
It's just go ahead. It's like you're underwater, but we'll.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll scream into the microphone. Hopefully that assists. It was great to be with you all last month, and I'm glad to be back with another update as we are about halfway through the legislative session. Can you all hear me?
Yes, it's staticky, but we hear you.
Okay, excellent. I put some information in the chat, and essentially what's there is a pathway for you to get further connected with Senator Chang. The first link is a link to the Senator's website where you'll have the opportunity to subscribe to both the monthly district newsletter, which we're really pleased to have released some wonderful updates for the month of March, as well as the weekly housing newsletter. As many of you know, Senator Chang serves as chair of the Senate Housing Committee, and he also serves as vice chair of Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs. He's also a member of Judiciary and Water and Land. From his page on the legislative website, you can take a look at the measures, and there are several dozen that were introduced by Senator Chang this session, and that will also link you to those committee web pages where you can find out what's still active in the legislature. Tomorrow is the crossover day, so one of the first major deadlines. Civil Beat has put out a number of updates. They were at the Capitol today having a discussion around fireworks. As far as my most recent research, there were still 3 active bills related to fireworks in the Senate. Some of them have companions in the House as well. And so that's SB 222, 227, and 1324. I think someone mentioned that earlier. So if you want to keep track of those will be the bill numbers to look for. Other hot topics that they were discussing at the Capitol today, the Lahaina wildfire recovery. There are a couple of bills still circulating related to this. Condo insurance is something that the senator had planned to discuss today's session. There were 5 bills related to this. Lots of activity the last couple of weeks at the legislature regarding the legalization of marijuana. I don't know that those bills are still active. School meals, several dozen on housing, taxes, and other topics that are related to the the national conversation. I heard someone say just a few minutes ago, something related to gender affirming care. There was a bill going through the Senate, SB 1150, that would allow or empower parents, doctors, and children to make their own healthcare decisions related to gender affirming care. We've had a number of folks stop by the office with concerns about what's happening and wanting to express their desire to save services such as Medicaid, SNAP, and education, etc. We had Hawaii's teachers were there protesting at the Capitol. just last month. So we hear those concerns coming through our office, and we are doing what we can on the state legislature side. Some good news. Senator Chang announced this month that $1.8 million was secured for Kahala Elementary School and Waialae's Elementary Public Charter School. So we're really excited about the work that gets accomplished through the capital improvement projects and funding that's been getting released that the senator's been advocating for. As a follow-up to my presentation last month, I did forward the email with a letter from the governor explaining the resources that were shared for the fish pond that Senator Chang was an advocate for, and lots of other resources, resources related to preschool, senior citizens, funding secured for Leahi Hospital, Medicare counseling, just things that folks call and ask about are some of the topics that Senator tries to update. So with that, we hope to see you. We've got a little bit left in the session here. We'll be wrapping up in May, so please stop by. We're in room 226. And in the meantime, feel free to give us a call if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Senator Chang's office? Online? Nope. Okay, thanks so much. All right, and next we have the office of Representative Mark Hashem. Jane, are you?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I'm here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me pop into your meeting. I see that you're in good hands with Senator Stanley Chang's rep and Rep Tommy Waters, Chair Tommy Waters. Everyone's pretty much talked about what's going on at the Capitol these days with crossover, lots of bills coming our way in the Water and Land Committee, coastal erosion bills, invasive species bills. What else are we doing? Yeah, quite a bit of coastal erosion and state water code. I just want you to know that I'm available if you have any questions or concerns. I'm happy to address them here or take it back to Rep Hashem. I did put our phone number in the chat so that if you do have any concerns, they come up, during the month, before the meeting or whatever, please feel free to call our office. We did have someone call from Ainahaina earlier this week with concern over a very noisy sewer cover that hadn't been properly put back into place, and we were able to get somebody on that right away. So, if you feel like you need a little push from someone, don't hesitate to call. We did get in touch with someone at City and County to get that fixed up. So, any questions, concerns?
Well, let's see. I guess not. Thanks so much, Jane.
Thank you.
Oh,
My
there we go.
screen here. Okay.
What are you doing? Go ahead, Mr.
Okay,
Abe.
yeah, I'm getting let me try my screen again. I get some technical difficulties here. Okay. No. Okay. Okay, now I see my screen. Okay, good evening, Vice Chair Lucas and members of the Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Neighborhood Board. Casey Albert from the State DOT Highways Division. At a previous meeting, I mentioned that I was still working our maintenance crew on cleaning up the pile of trash sitting in the tree line behind Pico Drive bus stop. I'm glad to report that during my field inspection last week, the trash was finally been cleaned up. But during my follow-up inspection yesterday, I noticed trash started to accumulate again because the bus stop does not have any trash can like most bus stops. So I'd like to ask the mayor's rep or council chair Waters rep to see if they can have DTS install a trash can at this bus stop. On Friday, February 7th, I received Neighborhood Board Assistant Jodell an email and this letter from Kevin, asking the board to consider writing a resolution to the state for a copy of the maintenance contract and the price the state paid to maintain the landscaping along Kalani Highway. I am working with our district maintenance crew on addressing the median landscaping, but instead of writing a resolution, the board may want to write a letter to our director requesting a copy of the maintenance contract, along with their concerns about the landscaping being maintained by our current contractor. The letter can also mention that Kevin will be more than happy to meet at no charge with the highway staff who is responsible for the irrigation system to ensure it's working properly. During my field inspection last week, I noticed a damaged guardrail entry near the border water supply facility going eastbound on the Kalani Highway right after you passed that Kaimoku place. Fortunately, our maintenance inspector also saw the damaged guardrail and called our district maintenance crew who completed the temporary repairs by lunchtime. I'll work with our district maintenance to do the permanent repairs as soon as possible. During my field inspection last week, I noticed a new homeless encampment under the drainage canal near Wailupi Beach Park. I'm working with our homeless coordinator on removing the encampment. Also next to the drainage canal, I noticed the damaged Hawaiian Telecom utility box that is a safety hazard to motorists and especially bicyclists. Our district office is working Hawaiian Tel to quickly repair the box and cover. And finally, on February 28th, our Public Affairs Office and the local TV news announced that starting March 1st and ending on April 29th, our existing 10 red light safety cameras will start mailing warning citation to motorists exceeding the posted speed limit by more than 5 miles per hour. Warning citation will be mailed to the vehicle's registered owner. Beginning April 30th, official speeding citations will be issued. A speeding citation is like a red light citation and is not considered a moving violation, so it should not affect your car insurance premiums. All fines will be deposited into our automated enforcement program special fund that will be used to maintain the cameras. Fines for speeding citations is like the red light citation, with not more than $250 for your first violation, $300 for your second violation, and $500 for your third violation if committed within a 12-month period of the first violation. HDOT is seeking additional funds from the legislature to install additional camera systems at signalized intersections. Since the red light camera pilot program began in 2022, HPD has issued almost 43,000 red light citations. So when motorists are approaching the signalized intersection and see the light turn yellow, they will need to consider that if I accelerate through the intersection while the light is still yellow, I may avoid receiving a red light citation, but I may receive a speeding citation if I'm going more than 5 miles over the posted speed limit. This concludes my report. I can take any questions at this time.
Member Stanton?
Hi, Casey. This is Tim Stanton here. I'm not sure if this is the right forum. I represent District 3, particularly Bowler Street, and there's been a lot of complaints to me in the last couple of weeks. When you mentioned HECO covers, there are about 5 residences who've got temporary power cables going into their house because there's been issue with the underground power supply. It's really quite terrible. So you've got lights coming off the top of light poles. You've got power cables going in through covers into the ground on the sidewalk and things like that. So there's a couple of issues. People saying that it's terrible at night, it's dangerous for tripping over. And the guy next to me is a friend, he's an architect, and he wants to know how safe it is, particularly in windy weather and wet weather. Thank you.
Mr. Abe, do you have any response to that? I know you're not HECO.
Yeah, I'm not HECO, and also I guess if that's within a city and county road, you may have to ask the mayor's rep or council water rep to investigate that. I know I'm more concerned with the utilities in the state highways right away that we can work with the utility companies. That's why I mentioned that, because this situation was within our state highways.
Yeah, it's been going on for over a year, temporary hookups.
Yeah, that's probably the county road next to residential areas. So that's a county representative would have to work with the utility company.
Mr. Abe, speaking of state highways, Kalani Oli at Kuli'ou'ou, January 30th, the rains, there was significant flooding. And is there something being done about that? It happens every time there's heavy rains.
Yeah, I know last month there was the board expressed their concern, and this is a good example where Senator Chang could assist us, because that is a major project that we have to undertake to address this drainage problem, because the water starts off from the county side and then it flows down the road into the state highways. So it would have to be a major I guess project between the city and the state. So this is where we would need our elected officials to reach out to our director. They can talk to our director directly, call him up and express their concerns, because we know that to address this drainage problem, it'll cost a lot of money. And we have to work with the city, because we do know the water comes down the road, the county road, into the highways. So this is a good problem that Senator Chang and Chair Waters can work together in reaching out to our director.
Okay, thank you. I happened to be driving by that night and it was pretty scary.
Oh yeah, it is a problem.
Okay, right by Holy Trinity, and before that, like the two streets that go up Kuli'ou'ou before that. All right, so I guess we have our work cut out for us to work with the city and Senator Chang's office. Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Department of Transportation? Go ahead and come up to the microphone so we can hear you.
Is that a private road? Is that a private road? Because it's private on that side. Is that recent? Where the sewer and everything was a mess that night at night.
I'm sorry, can you come up to the microphone and give us your name?
Sorry, Memo Rego, Ainahana Community Association. And I got a call to come check the water in the stream. So
are you talking about Wailupi?
yes, right over here.
Okay,
Right across the street.
we
right?
were discussing Kuli'ou'ou.
Oh, I know, but it was flooded the same way. And
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, and I went to come to the stream. The stream was fine, but all the sewer trucks were over across the street here.
Correct.
And they were all,
5311.
yeah, and they were
Yes,
all
5311.
flooded, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
It was a mess.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a real mess there.
Yes.
So I was just
That I
wondering.
don't think that's Department of Transportation either.
Oh, is it? I think it's, that's why I was asking.
Yes,
That's
and the
I-
Board of Water Supply, that street is private, or it's
Yes.
actually ambiguous. I've had conversations with,
Isn't that maybe over there?
with,
Because I know when we flooded in 2018, they said they were private, and it was the same thing, that the whole sewage thing, it was all the sewage was up, and they said they were private over there. So that's why I was rechecking again to see.
I do know that there has been a lot of work done on that issue for that 5311, and there are different plans that they're working on. They've gone pretty far down, but what's been happening now is that they have to call the trucks. For this January event, the Board of Water Supply did issue a warning. I don't know if you saw that out, that the sewage was flowing into the ocean and that for people to stay out of the ocean.
Once again, when I was president of the United Community Association, the problem is the sewage outflow is very complicated. The city is always called in because there's raw sewage floating into people's homes. And the raw sewage comes down, going this way towards town. And unfortunately, we have a number of private lanes in Aina between Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani and the ocean. And it's my understanding that at least the one street that you're talking about. Yeah, so it's my understanding that the city has consistently come out. And unfortunately, the raw sewage problem continues in Aina, particularly for homes that are on the Mackay and the Mackay side of Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani. But it's gross when you see raw sewage coming into people's homes. It's gross and it's dangerous.
It is.
It's very dangerous.
The thing that's better now is that there are actually pump trucks being sent. And in the past, there wasn't even that. So it's a step in the right direction.
Is this because?
Hopefully you don't have to step in the poop, but people here do.
Is this
I have several friends that live on that lane. So
well, yes. Anyway,
is this because it's private property and city and
it's
county?
it's a complicated.
It's complicated.
History. It's a complicated history, but you got to remember that there's a lot of sewage flowing this way.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get straight answers from the city. You know, it's sewage department, right? So I've actually walked by homes when you ask, why is it that you have all your dishes out on the sidewalk? And they say, well, the house was overwhelmed by water with sewage. So it went up into their cupboards along Kuli'ou'ou. It's gross. It's absolutely gross.
So how can we navigate this and find the people responsible?
Member Stanton, I've been to the meetings. There's a whole homeowners groups. They've brought the guy from, I'm not going to remember it. Anyway, there is a plan to put in a septic system there. It is really complicated. It has to also do with the way, as Mr. Chow was saying, the sewage is pumped along Kuli'ou'ou right there at that bridge. There's something where it goes up and then it goes down. Anyway, it's complicated, but something is being done. But the pace that it's being done is depressing. Yeah. Okay. And then.
I got one more for Casey, please. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Casey, if I can redirect us back to Kuli'ou'ou Highway, townbound, Malka side, past West High. We got branches falling from those trees pretty often. How often do we check that? Because I think within the last month, we had 2 partial lane closures because huge branches were falling from the trees.
Okay, I'll check with our landscaping crew and they can do an inspection on those areas.
All right, thank you.
It's on the Malka side, so sometimes if it's part of a private landowner, we would have to work with the private landowner to cut the trees back. I know in the meeting it belongs to the DOT.
Yeah, I think recently big branch in front of the Coast Guard and more recently by Voss Street on Kalani Highway from the Medio.
Okay, well, I'll check it out in our meetings.
Thank you. All right, next up, it says we have presentations. Do we have presentations regarding the sewer free increase? I don't see any. The next one is the Wailupi stream management. I think we've kind of gotten into that. I don't see anybody here making it a presentation about that either. Okay. And then the third one is Hawaiian Homes in Mauna Lua, Hawaii Kai. Okay, Adam. Great.
You guys said you wanted to know who you can speak to and directly, and the directors and all of that. The mayor does have a town hall on June 5th, 7 p.m. at Kalani High School. He brings out all of his directors or deputy directors from each department, so you can speak to them directly. It's a 2-hour town hall. I very much encourage you to go, June 5th.
Okay, June 5th, Kalani High School. Do you have the time on that? 7 p.m. Great.
I have a question. Was someone supposed to make a presentation on the stream? It's on the agenda here.
I know it's on the agenda, and I put together.
Came for that reason. But I don't see anybody making a presentation.
I don't either. I'm going to take responsibility for that just because I'm sitting in this chair. Chair Burkert gave me a list of things to put on the agenda, and that was on it, but I don't actually personally have any knowledge about those topics. So we also had people come tonight who wanted to make a presentation, and they weren't on the agenda. So, well, it's sorry about that. We'll just have to try and do better. All right, closing. The next regular meeting of the Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Iki Neighborhood Board is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2005, 6:30 p.m. right here at the Aina Library and via WebEx. We will be taking pictures of the current board. So if you are used to attending virtually, please consider coming in person next month and being part of the picture taking. Audio and video recordings of the meetings are available to the general public via Olelo on demand at http://goo.gl/mhgbvv. Everybody got that? Yeah. Or search for Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Iki board, and you can download an MP3 file or watch a video of the meetings online. Oh, it's on YouTube as well. Okay. Oh, that's much easier. Okay, thank you, Zordel. So if you look at the agenda, the recordings, the YouTube address is right there. And that's probably a much easier way to do it. All right. And then if there's no, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I waited till the end of the meeting, but Chairperson Clarissa Burkett last 3 weeks ago, before this injury, she called me up, and apparently I've been a naughty boy and I stepped in some of that doo-doo. I did not know, and I don't know if any other board members know, but I was naughty when I asked if regarding the business we have, and I offered an invitation to one of our supper club meetings, and I'm not supposed to do that, but somebody dobbed me in. They didn't come and talk to me personally. They waited until the next day and called Clarissa about it. So I was quite surprised she called me, and obviously I wouldn't do anything at all, less bribery and corruption, which is perfectly acceptable. But anyway, I apologize, and I'll prostrate myself on the floor in front of you if necessary, but it wasn't intentional.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. I don't know. I hope whoever it was is I hope whoever it was is here to enjoy your penance. Okay. Yes.
And I'm
member-
sorry, one last thing. I just wanted to say thank you to the Aina Association. You updated your webpage, which means more people are learning about our meeting because you're so popular. And so thank you for making that change and together working on partnership to get the word out that we're all trying to help our valleys. So thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further, I think we can adjourn the meeting.